Hello guys, I'm Hypothetical Tiger, and this is my submission for Power Rangers All Dino Morphers and Dino Eggs for AGDQ 2018. So this category is basically 100%, but not every single collectible. It's sort of like the bridge between 100% and any percent. It's a pretty fast category for what it is, and it's actually kind of enjoyable. So what we're going to be doing is going through all 24 missions and getting every Dino Egg in the missions and all the Dino Morphers throughout the game. So that's a Dino Egg, what I just picked up, and there's one in every single mission. And there's 24 missions in this game, so it can go by pretty quickly. And there's some backtracking and some neat strats that you don't see in the any percent run that you only see in this run. So it just starts out really getting the Dino Eggs in each level. There isn't a lot of Power Morphers until you get to the end of level 5 in this world. So it starts the same as any percent, besides a small little adjustment here and there to get the Dino Eggs. So here we're going to be using the Dino Blast to take out all the targets, and that little reticle above the targets is basically showing where the Zord is aiming, so that can help us aim a lot. So normally in any percent we wouldn't be going over here and getting this egg because it's just slow and we don't need it. A lot of this run is just a lot of cool stuff that you wouldn't normally do. And in my opinion, it's a better category than any percent because of its length. It's a bit longer, which is nice, and you get a lot more stuff. So now we're getting the special attack, and instead of going straight towards these rocks, we're going to turn around and go behind this building because there's a Dino Egg back here. And since we already had text on the screen, it actually delayed the text of the Dino Egg collection, which is kind of cool. So yeah, now we're just going to make our way into the cave here after we use the special attack on the rock. Now this is where we'll be getting our first Morpher. It's the Tyranno Morpher. So the way these Morphers work is you can only collect them if you are the Zord that the Morpher is portraying. So you'll see here there's a lot of power-ups and stuff. Now the power-ups that we get here are blue and the orange crystals. The blue crystals give you speed power-ups like I just used there. Lets you go really fast, and the red crystals give you special attacks, and we're going to need both of those throughout the course of the run to help us go quickly. Now we just need to fight some lobsters, or the lobsters as I like to call them sometimes. There's not much deviation from the normal any percent route at the beginning. Later though, there is a bit of some big changes that normally wouldn't happen in any percent. Now the Dino Egg's back here, and I purposely let one lobber alive because the Dino Eggs despawn after the mission ends. They're exclusive to the mission in their position, so that's why you need to get them before you finish the mission. So now we're on mission 5, and we're going to get our first new Zord of the game, which is the Terra Zord. We're just going to run around and get these Terra Bones in a quick fashion, avoiding the lobbers. These lobbers can be really annoying, and I've had killed runs many times because of how annoying they can be while shooting you. Once again, getting a Dino Egg. So far, we've only gotten one Morpher, because that, so far, is like the only one we could get. So we only have 2 more Terra Bones left, and then we'll have the Terra Zord, which lets you fly, and it's a really slow Zord, but it's a very helpful Zord. So now we turn to the right here to face towards the mission that will spawn. So now this is mission 6, and it's the final mission in the tar pits, and we are going to get the final Morpher in this area and the final Dino Egg. Luckily these missions are really short, so it makes it actually a quick speed game. The only thing that makes this run take a little longer than 40 minutes is just because of all of the extra collecting you have to do later, because there is some backtracking. which the route for this category is being developed a bit more. Right now we have a set route, but it can be faster, and I've been looking for optimizations. As of right now, sub 40 hasn't been done, but it should be very easy really soon. Because routing for this category is different than any percent, because it's a little more than just straightforward beat every mission, because you actually have to backtrack for some of the morphers, which is really annoying. Okay, so now we are in Reefside Canyon. Excuse me. And we turn right to the right to get the Tyrannomorpher right there. Now we're going to switch to Terra, because this mission we have to fly around. And we're also going to get the Terramorpher that is in this area. 2 quick morphers right away, which is really nice. And now we're just going to be getting these Tricerabones so we can get the Tricerazord next. Sadly, we don't have many speed power-ups right now, so this area is kind of slow going through this part. But we will use a speed power-up in a second to get closer to this Dino Egg up here on the ledge. And then we're going to want to fall down here. Sadly, you can't fall down with the Pterosaur, you just gotta wait for it to descend. And then we have the final Tricera DNA fossil thingy. I don't even know what it's called. See how much I pay attention to this game? But now we're just gonna go back to the Invisiportal to get Tricerazord. Now Tricerazord is one of the fastest Zords in the game, and it's very helpful in the beginning because the fastest Zord, which is the Dimetrozord, we don't get till later in the game. So we're going to be using this Zord a lot when we need to run far distances because it's just faster. So now here, this mission is one that definitely screws me up sometimes. But those text boxes, once they're cleared, the mission can start. If you have text on the screen, you will not be able to advance those text boxes until the text clears. So that's why I make it very careful when I'm moving there, that I don't hit a car to get the Power Rangers text of that I'm supposed to be helping people, not hurting them. Sorry about the cough, I'm a bit sick. But there we get a Dino Egg, and we continue down this path to break all these crystals. Really straightforward mission. Actually, no deviation from any percent, because in any percent you actually just run by the Dino Egg instead of collecting it. So we're almost done with these crystals. Now that we beat all the crystals, the water is now safe, because those crystals were obviously contaminating the water, and you can't drink water when there is a crystal in it. That is a proven fact. So now we're on the final, well, we're going to the final mission of Reefside Canyon. Like I said earlier, these missions are all pretty short, and the areas go by quickly. So this mission is an auto-scroller, basically. We need to wait for the Brachiosaur to get from here till the end of the Reefside Canyon so that he can activate the Invisiportal and let us go to Reefside City. So now here you'll see me running around getting the power-ups, because I need at least 3 for the Zeltrax fight that'll be coming up soon, which is the first boss fight in the game. A lot of this level is just waiting around and then killing the lobbers when they show up. Not really any speed tech or anything here, movement-wise. Dino Egg is in a really easy position right here. You just gotta jump past the ice enemy and then get the Dino Egg. Now that's the final Dino Egg we'll be getting in this area, but there's still one more Morpher we're gonna get, and it's the Triceramorpher. But we won't be getting that until the very end of the level. Once we kill all these lobbers to make sure that the Brachiosaur does not get damaged. Yeah, this is like one of the... There's 2 missions of this type in the game, and it's probably the most boring mission in the game. It's not the most enjoyable thing to do. But at least in this category, it's a bit different from any percent, and you can actually go and collect some things. Like this Triceramorpher right there. And now we can just wait for the Brachiosaur to get to the end and get an orange crystal. But I actually didn't pick it up because I ran away a bit too fast, which is a shame.
This invisiportal is too weak to transport your Zord.
Now you don't actually need to be by this invisiportal for the cutscene to trigger of the Brachiosaur like powering it or whatever. You can be on the other side of the level, and as long as he gets there safely, the cutscene will trigger, which is kind of cool. So now that we're done with Reeside Canyon, we're going to Reeside City. And as soon as it starts, we're going to be mashing B to skip the cutscene, which we do in every area. I think I forgot to mention that earlier. And then we switch to Tricera and immediately go to the left, because down this one side street there is a Triceramorpher. So we start the mission, we start the level, and immediately get a Morpher, which is pretty cool. That's what I like about this category. The Morphers are fun to route in, and same with the Dino eggs. So now basically we got to break all of these things that power up the generator in the middle of the city. It's really odd, it's just hanging out. But it's a pretty straightforward mission. You just shoot them and fly into them and they get damaged and die. And then there's a Terramorpher right there and also the Dino Egg. Very nice position for both of them. It makes it really easy to quickly just snag both of them and be on your way and continue the mission. This mission can actually be kind of annoying if you don't time your shots correctly. Because since Terra is always flying and going down and up, the shots can descend pretty quickly, so you got to make sure you time your shots correctly to get the hits. But it usually isn't that big of a problem. It's only like once every couple runs that I ever miss one. Then we want to use our special attack there to blow up the generator. And we want to land on top of this building, because if we go off to the right, we'll actually fall to the ground. And then we're in a bad spot because Terrazord is slow and flying is really, really slow. So we'd be in a bad spot to get to the next mission. Now this mission's pretty cool. We're going to go around and we're going to destroy all these interference generators with our special attack. And we also want to make sure we have at least 3 power-ups out of this level right here, because we won't have a chance to get another one before the first boss fight in the game, and we need at least 3 for that boss. 3 is like what you need, but anything more than 3 is always really good. And you'll see here I switched to Tricerazord because it's faster to run with Tricera than with Tyranno between the interference generators. This level probably has like the easiest to forget Dino Egg. It's really frustrating and I miss it every now and then, because it's right at the end of the level and normally you don't even see that part when you're doing this game in any percent, because that's the main category I run, but I will be running this a lot more because I find this way more enjoyable. So you go to the left here of the final generator and you jump up here to get the Dino Egg. Definitely easy to miss. Takes a bit of extra focus to make sure I get it. So that's the end of this level. So now we just have one more mission. Also, I keep calling the missions levels. Sorry if that gets confusing. And then I call the levels worlds. My brain's all over the place. But we just run to this last mission. And as soon as we start, we're going to change into Terrazord and go to the left. Normally you would just run straight and just mash B and hope that the taggers don't get you, which is actually kind of risky and hard. But with this, getting the Dino Egg, it actually sets you up perfectly. You only need to hurt 1 tagger, which is significantly easier than 3 or 4. Because even if you're mashing B as fast as you can, sometimes the game will not give you the kill. So now we're basically running back to the tar pit so we can fight Zeltrax, the first boss in the game. And funny enough, he's also the second boss in the game. We technically beat him 3 times in this run. So there's 2 taggers in this area on our way back to the tar pits, and they're not really ever a problem. I don't think I've ever been tagged here. They're not as annoying as the taggers in Reefside City.
You have it. All right. Remember, okay.
Now here we are. We just gotta skip some cutscenes and then fight Zeltrax. Zeltrax needs 3 power-ups to beat, like I said earlier. And the way you're gonna do it is he's gonna be throwing these bombs out. And basically, after he throws the bombs out and they explode, he'll put his arm in the air, charging a special attack. And as long as you hit him with your Dino Blast while he's charging in the air, he'll like be stunned, and you can use a special attack on him. And it only takes 3 times. It's a very simple fight. And there we go. That's the first Zeltrax fight of the game.
Did it. I think it's time we turn the table.
And we're no match for him because he's the greatest and can just teleport
Zeltrax is still
whenever he wants for fun. Sadly, we are not allowed to do that because this game is annoying sometimes. So now we're going to be going to the next world or level, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to call it whatever my brain decides to at the moment. This is Jungle Island. Most of Jungle Island's Morphers, actually I believe all of Jungle Island's Morphers, we are actually going to wait to get until the second time around, just because it makes it way easier. So we want to switch to Tricera because it is the fastest Zord we have access to right now, and we're going to want to run around and get these 5 tree pods. And we want this speed boost here because that'll help us in a bit. So once we collect these 5 tree pods, then we will be able to get the next Zord, which is the Parasaur Zord, which isn't the best Zord. We don't really use it often, besides like a bit in Volcano Core, but it's not like a huge use to us. Now, as you saw, I used a speed power up, but there was a little bump in the ground, and that actually stopped my speed. Excuse me. Things like that can stop your speed. Like sometimes attacking will stop your speed. Little bumps like that will stop your speed. It can be very annoying to actually keep speed while running with a speed power up. And now we're gonna run back to the Invisiportal to get the Parasaur Zord. There's only 2 more Zords left in the game, so we almost have them all already. Want to get this power up because we're going to be using a lot of power-ups in this mission. Basically, there is a base and it has a shield, and we need to destroy all of these crystals with the corresponding Zord color with our special attacks in order to break the shield, and then we can destroy the base. It basically starts with Parasaur Zord and goes backwards. I actually messed up the route a bit here. I'm supposed to get the Dino Egg before I get the crystal, but I get the Dino Egg anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So now as you can see down there, the base is now bare, and we can go destroy it. But first we're going to come up here and get this Dino Egg. It's a little out of the way, but it's not that bad. That one's kind of hard to remember where to go because there's a lot of like indents into the walls in this area. So we use a special attack there to avoid the tagger, and taggers, once you kill the 2 taggers in this little area, then they will always come out of the door of the base. So that's why I try to attack the door, because as soon as they spawn they should get killed. So I used 2 power-ups in that last mission, and I was only supposed to use 1, so that's why I actually got tagged there. That's not supposed to happen, but it's not the worst deal. I just need to kill 1 extra plant at the end of this cycle, I believe. That's why it's really important to look at your special amount, because if you don't have enough and you're going into a mission where you need it right away, like in this case, then it can be kind of annoying. And right there, I didn't pick it up, even though I thought I did. So that's why this happened. Can be kind of annoying. This is a little spaghetti, but that's okay.
Dino egg collected.
And now we're gonna fly up here to get the dino egg.
Destroy all the stickler weeds before they reproduce.
In the next mission, you'll actually see one of the morphers that we're gonna come back and get later. Because right now we don't have the Zord that allows us to pick it up, so we have to come back
Severe, team.
at a later time. But here's the last stickler weed.
Are you ready to
And now this is the final mission in Jungle Island that we're going into, but it's not our last time in Jungle Island. We will definitely be back here, not to do a mission, but to get some morphers. So this is also a Brachiosaur mission, which means we basically just get to hang out and wait for him to walk a long way in order for the mission to finish. Probably my least favorite mission, honestly. Because the first one, there is like almost no chance of the Brachiosaur dying. But on this one, there is actually a chance that it dies because you can mess up pretty badly if you're me. I like to screw this up every now and then. And it loses about 2 minutes, depending on where you die. Because whenever you die or he dies in this mission, you restart from the beginning. So I'll basically be running around and getting power-ups and stuff to use. And we'll also be getting the Dino Egg, which is in a little cave right here that we're going towards. And the Dimetrozord Morpher's also in here, but we don't have the Dimetrozord. We'll be getting the Dimetrozord in the next area, which is Lava Fields, which we'll be going to right after this mission ends. You know, once the Brachiosaur picks up the pace
Zord to pick it up?
and makes his way to there.
Brachiosaur has been hit. We must protect him, no matter the costs.
So now we're basically just shooting the lobbers until it gets to the end of the area. Because that Dino Egg was the only thing we really had to get. And there were a lot of power-ups in there, so we were basically set for the rest of the area. So now we just get to hang out. This and the other mission are two very good times for donation readings.
This invisiportal is too weak.
6 speed power-ups there is very good. I probably won't even use them all by the end of the run.
Ready to
So now that he finally made it, we're going to be going to Lava Fields, which is the next great level in this game.
look up on Messenger.
It is 10 out of 10, and we get my favorite Zord, which is also the fastest, which kind of makes sense why it's my favorite, because it's fast, you know? Gotta go fast, my dude. So down here, we're going to go towards the Dino Egg. I got a little confused and went the wrong way, so that'll be fun. Watch this spaghetti.
Is eating for your Zord.
There was the Dimetro Morpher in this area that we will be getting after I get the Dimetro Zord. And I just act like this was my first time here and spaghetti didn't happen.
Collect all of them to unlock bonus Zord games.
It was a while since I ran this category, so it took me a bit of remembering to get this stuff. But we also get the Parasaur Zord Morpher there right away because it's really fast. And then we also come up here, and it just happens to be the Tyrannomorpher, so we're just going to quick pick that up. And then use the Pterosaur to fly all the way into the middle and destroy this generator, so that we can get my pal, the Dimetrozord. And once again, we use special attacks. Even though it doesn't look like it's damaging the generator, it's actually doing a decent amount of damage. It just doesn't flash red, so you can't actually see it. But it is doing damage, trust me. So now we have the Dimetrozord. Now there's only one more Zord in the game, which we'll be getting in the next area. So now here we're going to be changing the Pterosaur to quickly get this Morpher. This is probably the dumbest Morpher in the game because you have to float down to it, and it can be very annoying. Now we're going to do mission 19. Now this mission is very interesting because we need to navigate our way around the level and get the collectibles also, but while destroying all the generators, which is, it produces a very interesting route, to say the least. Very different from any percent. Like, we normally here, we end here in any percent, but we actually start here in this category. A lot of cool jumps and just navigating our way through the bottom part of this area in this category. It's really cool. Now here we finally get the Dimetro Morpher because we actually have the Zord. Now we're just going to keep making our way around to the final two generators. That blade attack is seriously effective. The game said so, which means it's true. And here we're going to get an extra power up because it's nice. And there I hit the lava when I destroyed the last generator, which actually spawns you at the beginning of the level, which is very interesting. And it also happens in Volcano Core, which is the final level, and that's where we're going next. So that's always fun. It loses time in both instances. So now we gotta use the Tricerazord to reflect the... I guess they're like... they're calling them blasts. We gotta reflect the blast back at the cannons. And then do that to all four, and then one will drop a Naruto scroll like it did earlier in Tar Pits. Once we use the special attack on the red tree as Tyrannosaur. So yeah, basically, you can actually hit them while they're in the air. I believe I do it here. When the Zord is actually shooting at me, I hit it while I'm running there, and it'll actually go back and count as a hit like that. So we try to time those and get quick hits in on these cannons. And it only takes 2 to kill them, so it's not that slow. So now we just gotta get the Naruto scroll right here and go over and get the final Morpher in this area.
You did it. The power is boosted and you can Are you ready to transport to the volcano core?
Okay, so now we just gotta wait here, and now we're gonna be going to Volcano Core. Except for I did a dumb and thought I forgot a Morpher, but I didn't, because I'm smart.
Looks pretty hot there, guys.
More spaghetti, like I said earlier. We got a lot of spaghetti.
You've collected a power morph.
But it's still, this is still a good video to show off the run. There weren't any major mistakes. So now we turn right to the right here once we're in Volcano Core and get the Dimetro Morpher. And then we can start the mission. Very quiet atmosphere until you actually get some missions started, because then enemies start appearing throughout the little hub of this area. So now we need these 3 DNA pods in order to get the Cephalozord.
Dino egg collected.
But first we're going to go up here and get the Dino egg. And then we're going to come up here and get some Morphers, which will be fun. This is really nice because you get 2 Morphers back to back. So right here is the Triceramorpher. And now we're just going to go forward and note the Tyrannomorpher will be in front of us. And that'll put us basically right in front of the portal and the final DNA that we need to get the Cephalozord. Change the Tricera because we're going to be using it at the end of this mission a lot. And we got bamboozled, and Cephalozord is actually trapped. Oh man, something's not right. What is that? So now we basically just got to destroy all these enemies. There's a lot of them. And I like to start with Tricera because you can just run into them and they die immediately. But you can't jump, so you risk taking damage from lava, which can be annoying. As long as you run into the enemies, then they will die. So I switched to Parasaur there once Tricera gets low. And then to Dimetro once Parasaur's low. And you just run around and get all the enemies. And then once they're dead, that is the end of that mission. And I died there in the lava as I finished the mission, so it did a little weird thing there where I died after the mission technically finished, which was kind of weird, not gonna lie. So now we're gonna start mission 22. And normally this mission's very easy and there's no way of messing it up unless you just don't know how to play video games. But because you need to go to the other end of the level and get this Dino egg. Because like I said, they're in every mission. So you can't get it outside of this mission. So you need to go all the way back there and then all the way back to the actual Cephalozord itself. Now doing that actually spawns taggers that spawn up here. Normally they don't spawn if you just go straight backwards. There's a tagger right there, you'll see. And it's not moving towards me, thankfully, but I shot it there just to make sure that it didn't come get me while I was trying to do something. And as I didn't want it to do what that one literally just did to me. This mission can be very annoying like that just because of those two taggers. But I'm working on a strat that'll make that much more bearable. So now we just hit the last lock with Tyranno. And now we have the Cephalozord, the final Zord in the game. And now we can go backtrack and stuff after we finish these final two missions of Volcano Core. We can then backtrack and get the lovely Morphers. So, as I said earlier, we actually fight Zeltrax 3 times. 2 times you're supposed to, and we fight the final boss twice. Because in the rules, you have to end with the final boss. So, this mission is pretty straightforward. Use your special attack on the Magmatrons that are on the wall. This mission is very annoying casually, because even though they're all straightforward and where they are, and you just keep going forward to find these Magmatrons, for some reason every casual player I've ever seen, including myself, cannot find like one of them, so it takes us forever to finish the mission. And then we come up here and get the Terramorpher and the Dino egg. So now we want to just come back here with the Parasaur-Zord. And destroy these Magmatrons. Sorry, with the Cephalozord. And then change to the Parasaur-Zord. Here we go. To get this Dino Morpher. Now there's only one more Morpher that we're going to have to get in this area, which is the Cephalomorpher. So now we can go and fight Zeltrax. So up here is the Cephalozord Morpher.
You have unlocked the Samurai Star Megazord in the Rock Quarry.
Now we can just drop down and go towards the mission and do the 24th mission of the game.
You have unlocked.
Come with me peacefully.
The shield is too
So now Zeltrax 2 works the exact same as 1. He just has like 1 different attack, so he's really not that big of a deal. And he also takes 5 hits to kill instead of 3. So he still throws the bombs, and you still have to hit him while he's charging. But then after the 3rd hit, there's actually something that is different than on the first fight. You can mash B after the attack animation, and he'll automatically be charging. So it basically saves like waiting, which is really nice. It's a very quick fight with not too much difficulty. The main difficulty is just avoiding the enemies that are on the ground who can sometimes hit you. So there you do the mash right there and immediately shoot him while he's charging, which is fast. Now here he's gonna try to like hit you with some electricity and stuff. You just gotta jump over it and then wait a bit, and then he'll charge, and you can get the final hit on him.
This battle is over, but the war has just begun.
You have unlocked. Way to go, guys.
So the war has just begun and the battle's over, even though the game's over, because, you know, they definitely didn't make a sequel. So I don't know why he says that. It's kind of weird. But now we gotta basically run to that invisible portal and it'll trigger the end credits. And now I just mashed through the credits. and to start the game again. So now we can do our backtracking. To get some Zords. Zord Morphers, that is. English is hard. So now we're going to go right here. And go back to Jungle Island to get the 3 Morphers that we left there. Which is the Parasaur Zord Morpher, the Dementor Morpher, and the Cephalozord Morpher. They don't take that long, which is nice. And then after that, we want to go to Reefside City to get 1 Morpher, which is the Parasaur Zord Morpher. Because the game just had to put that Morpher in that area, making us have to go all the way back, which is just swell. I love it. Okay, so immediately to the right, we're just gonna go get the Dimetro Morpher, which is in this little cave that we were in before to get the Dino Egg in the final mission of Jungle Island.
You cannot collect a power morpher with this Zord. You've collected a power morpher. Collect all of them to unlock.
So now back here is the Parasaur Zord Morpher. So now all we need to do is go all the way to the back of the level, which this is like the annoying Morpher that I wish didn't exist because it just takes forever to get. But we got to go to the back of this level and get the Cephalozord Morpher, which is up on a little ledge. But it takes a while to get to, even if I had speed power-ups, it would take a bit because speed isn't like infinite on Terra like it is on Tricera as long as you don't hit anything or shoot. So now here's the Cephalozord, and now we're just going to want to run back to the other Invisiportal, not the one we entered this area from this time, but the one that we actually first entered this area from that leads back to the tar pits. And then from the tar pits, we're going to make our way to Reefside City while going through Reefside Canyon. This is why the game's a little longer than any percent, because of all this backtracking.
Are you ready to transport?
But there are some ideas to make it faster. But right now, this is the fastest route that has been used.
You can walk through the tar, but it will prevent.
So now that we're back in tar pits, we're just want to go to the left and go to Reefside Canyon and just make our way through the level.
While in tar.
Basically, just run from the beginning till the end. Pretty straightforward. These sections are all just running. It's really all it is.
Watch it. There may be people inside. Try not to be so careless. Are you ready to transport?
So now that we're at the Invisiportal, we're just gonna want to enter Reefside City and go forward a bit, and then we're gonna fly up, and on top of a building is the Parasaur Zord Morpher, which is the final Morpher of the game. Woohoo! And then all we have to do is run back to Zeltrax and fight him again, and then the run will be finished.
Dolphin Zord in the rock wall.
The thing that could change between now and the start of AGDQ, if this will get in, is just changing it so that
Are you ready to transport?
you only fight Zeltrax 2 once. We believe there's a route that's faster that we could try. And it wouldn't really change the estimate because the estimate's going to be 45 minutes for this category. And that won't be that hard to beat. So now we just gotta run our way back to the tar pits, and then through Jungle Island, and then through lava fields, and back to Volcano Core to fight Zeltrax for the second time. And the second fight is exactly like the first fight,
Walk through the tar, but it will prevent you.
so that's a lot of fun. Because who doesn't love fighting Zeltrax? I liked it so much, I wanted to fight him 3 times instead of 2.
Are you ready?
Because he's just my favorite boss in any video game ever. He's the greatest. So yeah, this backtracking is a lot of fun. Totally. This is like the only bad part of this category. Other than this backtracking, this category is a lot of fun because of the movement in between Morphers and Dino eggs and doing the normal missions. Okay, so now we just gotta go to from the start of lava fields to volcano core. So we're done with backtracking and running around. We can just do the final boss and then finish the speed run.
Are you ready to
So the Zeltrax fight is literally in the middle of the level, so we just run forward and activate the mission. But I come back here and I get this power up because it takes 5 to kill Zeltrax, and I also get this one right here just to make sure I have enough power ups to fight Zeltrax without having to get any during the fight, because getting the power ups during this fight is obnoxious and I hate it. It's really bad. So we just skip the movie and the cutscene like we did the first time and do the exact same fight again.
don't stay in close?
Yay. So yeah, just get past the bombs, wait for him to put his hand up, shoot him, do the little pew pew, make him cry and fall down, and then we can go and destroy him. And once again, after this hit, we're gonna just mash B in order to get the hit off right after the cutscene. Except for I missed it there. But that's what I wanted to do. So now there's only one more hit, and then we're gonna run into the portal for the credits. Okay, so I just want to say thank you for watching. If you are watching this video all the way to the end, anyone really, if you are part of the GDQ staff and you hear this, I hope you actually consider this game. Even though it is a bit of a mean game being a Power Rangers game, it's actually a pretty fun speedrun that I really enjoy, and I put a lot of time into working on it. And I like doing it, and it's a lot of fun. And it's pretty short, so that's always good. But yeah, I don't expect anyone to watch this submission video, but if you're here, once again, thank you. Hope you guys enjoyed my Dino Thunder, all Dino Eggs, and Morphers speedrun.
That when you all work together, nothing